shot. Do we lose the tank, Kevin? We lost the tank.
Dude, you need to scream enough. I have my game on high volume, Motorized, for fuck's
Oh,
sake.
unlock.
Stop rage baiting, you're not right here. Stop rage baiting.
Yeah, you're probably wondering how I got myself into a situation like this where I can totally explain it. So, it all started last week, where this Broken Arrow PTE tournament was still underway and it was reaching its semifinals stage when Ben's team, the Benjiverse, his team was going to play against MBK, which is also a pretty popular YouTuber in the Slavic region of Europe or Asia, probably Europe. And yeah, they happened, well actually this had nothing to do with me until Ben's team was down a person on the day that they wanted to play together. And they asked me, so like, could I fill in for the guy? And actually, why don't I just show you the context here? I could try waking up at that time instead if that's what you want.
I mean, is it fine for you? Do you have work? Do you have some shit? Will it disturb your life?
Wednesday, I happen to be available. I just need to wake up in time and... yeah.
We're
if
playing
you
against
don't
him.
wake up, you're fucked.
Okay. But if I stay up until 5 a.m., I'm also fucked.
I mean, energy drinks.
No, that only works for you, Patrice. So yeah, like that was basically what happened. I had to fill in for Teed, which was basically a frontline slide. I mean, everyone on there, like Teed was probably just filling in as both meat grinder and a flank player. So I ended up just doing whatever, like playing decks that he tried out and then he experimented with. And I learned a lot from the tournament that I think I can definitely share with you guys. That being said, it was kind of funny because MBK's team said that they were going to play on this day. I mean, they were going to play the day after, but on the day before, they said that they were busy or like they were just practicing basically. So even though that day was the day where like both teams' players were present and were ready to play, they played 6 games. And they ended up not playing, and then they scheduled the date the day after where they were more prepared, and then Ben's team was down a player. But hey, I'm not gonna say anything. I mean, it's what happened, right? It's what happened. So the guys on the team were pissed, but still, for me, I'm just glad I could play. I'm just glad I could take part in this tournament that I initially had nothing to do with. Because if you think about it, the time that the game starts is around like 7 p.m. Moscow time. I don't really know like which time zone they're in, but it was kind of weird, like I had to play during midnight, which is normally a time I would be sleeping, and that's why I never wanted to play in the first place. And same goes for the folks in the States. I don't think there have or was a lot of teams that were from the US, and that was mainly because of the time the tournament was played, because it was at nighttime rather than like being in the afternoon, where like if it were in the afternoon, then everyone from Asia could participate, and then everyone from the US could also participate because it would be in the morning for them, and then afternoon for Europe, and then evening for Asia. And then for Australia, I'm afraid, like that's just unfortunate. I mean, like they live in the middle of the ocean sphere, so there's not much we can do for them, unfortunately. Sorry, Scrub. Sorry, Penguin. And yeah, anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to what you're actually here for. Some pretty tense gameplay, or like just me clicking the mouse for 45 minutes and then occasionally complaining about Spetsnaz GRU or SSO. And we're off in the first game against MBK and his team. This is at least the first game of the winners bracket semifinals, and it's definitely feeling very excited when everything was about to like roll off, because I didn't really know who I was playing against. All I know was where I was going, and that was about it. And well, before we begin or continue, let's count from 1 to 10 in Spanish, or if I don't think I'm good with Spanish, but anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is correct. In a sweaty Russia mirror, there are 10 motorized. And I think that says a lot about the game, at least. That says a lot. That says a lot about, how everything is going, how sweaty everyone is. Well, people, when money's on the line, I don't really think it's, the problem with money. I think it's just like when maybe someone's honor, someone's pride is on the line, you gotta go for the win, right? That was my Discord ping, by the way. Sorry, gonna mute this. Yeah, when something's on the line, then yeah, then like you definitely should. You definitely should be trying as hard as you can. But as a result, you can't really blame them because the game is naturally gonna become a slugfest of meta versus meta, which like on live patch you can already tell from the amount of US mirrors and like the Nilo around the 3,000 Nilo threshold. Everyone's playing US. No one wants to play Russia because if they do, it just feels like they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose out in the recon war. And as we begin the openings of this Russian meta is pretty unique because if you think about it, this is conquest. This is not like the end of phase push. No, none of those anymore. It's just, okay, guys. If you manage to take a cap before your opponent does, you start getting conquest points. So people naturally spawn a really cheap 45 point Kozelik right here as he drives into the cap as fast as possible. And then you try to get some recon at the flank. Here I'm just trying to figure out which is the best place to put it because by not also not getting too close to my opponent. And so yeah, the idea is that you want to get into C as soon as possible, interrupt your opponent getting into C as long as possible, and then try to build your try to build your front line from there. So as you can see, the air dropped or the heli dropped Metis squad is probably going to be able to get into the cap even before my opponent manages. Here we see that opponent, or at least my opponent, which is, I think it's not Wolfic, that is Pekuda, at this stage, or at least, during this point in the game, is trying to intercept my teammates and things that he's spawning in. So I decided to send one of my, oh, there comes his units. My Otonic is going to at least try to intercept this, deal with his Kozalik. Yep, so he's not able to get into C at this point. In the meantime, my Phantom is also trying to get rid of his Kozalik as it trades itself against him. So it's it's pretty fair. Pretty fair one versus like trade. Along with that, we also do manage to get at least deny them capping the F point this early into the match, since we also D point, my bad. And as a result, we are up. We are up in caps early on, so that's pretty nice. Not bad at all. And then the second wave of units would be the arriving, what do you call it again? The Kurganets, because they're pretty fast. They go 1,000, sorry, not 1,000, 100 speed, and force it to pop its smoke, or at least the infantry inside was forced to use its smoke. And he's put something in there, for sure. He's definitely put something in there. Good news for now is that if he ever wants to push into C, he's gonna have to deal with the Metis squad in the beginning, as we now try to establish my next front line, because if you remember correctly, I did use a helicopter. I did use my helicopter and well, still spent like around 400 points. That is currently not present on the front line as of now. I do still have. I'm still calling in reinforcements, which in reality I probably should have saved up for playing an SMT in case I ever needed to bomb something. Well, there's this Tor. Kind of wish I was in range for that. And then my book is just going to intercept that, but for some reason my Metis takes damage. I don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden, oh, it's a Spetsnaz groove. Who would have thought? I really should have just gotten myself an SMT here, because this is the the new haha I delete everything plane. It is the SMT, and the SMT is a 240 point, or it costs 240 points. It has 4 thermobaric weapons, or thermobaric 4 bombas. And they deal 75 damage each. So whatever infantry that is in front of you, it will die. And it's not fun at all to play against, and at least I haven't really been, I guess I haven't really been using it that frequently. I think that's kind of like a me issue, you know. I haven't been utilizing it as much as I can. And meanwhile, this is what I've been talking about. Sorry for drawing all over the place, but as you can see, all my infantry get instantly evaporated by the SSO team and the Spetsnaz group. This is the combo of like I just lost how many points was that? Oh, and I lose my Terminator as well because I probably should have sent it back after I used all my smoke. And then that's the problem. That's the problem with, or at least like that. That's how threatening or lethal that the CQC infantry can be. And with that, a bomb run just quickly dispatches them. And since there's no early game, blobbing this kind of stuff is pretty, at least blobbing these valuable infantry is pretty deadly. But then if you don't have this kind of these kind of units around to help you deny them, like when they try to blob infantry like that, it's gonna suck. So for me at the start of the match, yes, I definitely fucked it up. I'm just going to quickly deny my opponent's vision by taking out those 2 buildings in the back. Not sure if I actually can. And yeah, it was definitely my fault for not opening up with a like at least hovering an SMT in my backline when I clearly had a book to help me defend my airspace at least, so I could bomb the SSO along with the Spetsnaz group, because those 2 squads they can pretty much kill everything. Like the Spetsnaz group, they have six RPG 28 or 30s. I kind of forgot which one it was, but overall, like they're extremely lethal to like against tanks. Terminator can take out. I think I got shot here from my yeah, like my tank took damage because Ben shot me. Yeah, Ben was on my flank and or like next to me, so he helped me out a lot in this match when he was dealing with Rubashkin over there at D. But yeah, like overall, SSO kills everything. You can pretty much assume it to be that way. And then Spetsnaz group also kills a lot of things besides CQC, so that's why you have both together. Oh, this is where my game, I was asked to start streaming, and then my PC started to lag a bunch. I'm just gonna, because nothing happened here actually. I just cleared CCAP, and then I took it, I held it for a little while, and then I was trying to get reinforcements. Am I still lagging? Okay, it's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad. Okay, much better. So yeah, I was lagging for a little while, and you know, the good news is that my opponent, since I currently have this tree line that I can use for myself, I'm just going to start putting infantry stuff nearby so I can resupply. And then for him, for my opponent, Pakuda, he probably needs to resupply somewhere in here or somewhere back here, which like both take a while, you know, they're kind of far away. I definitely feel like his like what do you call it, logistics were way behind until well, I was just starting to gain ground until like I got ballistic by my book literally got ballistic because his radar was off and I just got there. So at this point in time, I thought to myself, okay, this mother sucker definitely has some kind of recon behind me. Like he definitely stuck something behind me over here, over here probably, otherwise he wouldn't have spotted this. So I'm just gonna dispatch a helicopter, try to get there as soon as possible. There was also, like as you spotted earlier, there was definitely something around here. You know, like along with supplies. But for me at least, now I do have something that at least denies my opponent from entering from this road and from that road. So I'm kind of forcing him in a position where he kind of needs to, at least when he pushes C, he's quite limited when it comes to options. I can also fire ATGMs with the K17, K17 boomerang, like down here. It's gonna be tough for him to push, at least for now, unless he brings out a Taz. Comes another ballistic. I'm just gonna move all my units. It's always worth sprinting. And he clips my supply. So yeah, like at this point, you can definitely be certain that in the opening of the match, this guy did, in fact, sneak some supplies up my ass, or like sneak some units up my ass. So I'm gonna have to figure out where exactly they are. And oh, there they are. They're diverse on the RPG. So just gonna have to he uses the smoke, which is nice. Just need to move all my stuff to prevent him from, you know, spotting anything too much. And then it's also this kind of things like he gets to walk up free. This is something that I should deny, but to be honest, he has all these containers where he can just kind of use for cover and then walk in. Kind of really should have left my boomerang right there to act as fire support. It's actually a pretty decent spot where my guard monostrokes are, you know, in the current position. They can kind of fire into the cap without being in a rather decent position. So I'm going to use my SSO. I'm going to counter these, or at least deal with the Spetsnaz group. The only issue is that the building collapsed before I could do anything, so we actually did manage to get the Spetsnaz group AT, which is pretty helpful in the future. Like if we ever happen, I mean, at least denying him the AT is good enough for me. Do you spot the RPG that's currently running for his life? Because like we spotted it, and now all that we need to know is to just go and clear him out. Also just going to use my supply truck right here. And quickly supply my infantry. Well, honestly, this is very greedy though. Like this is definitely something that he shouldn't be doing, because my opponent with this these two buildings I have failed to destroy. You can definitely spot my Ural that's driving here and then out, so it's a bit too obvious for him. I mean, for anyone with the brain, as long as they spawn some kind of like artillery, they should be able to quickly destroy or at least deny me of the supplies, which is something that's really important in BA, denying supplies, that is. Gonna move my Spetsnaz group into a sneaky bleaky position. I think I'm using it kind of, yeah, there you go. Immediately denied from my opponent, but the good news is that at least I managed to resupply them, my infantry, to an extent, and I still have more. And I noticed that I kind of do have an emphasis in like supplying my own units, and I do kind of like, I mean, as you can see, I have, you know, there's only actually two supply points that I can set up currently, but there's gonna be more, which is nice. I noticed that my recon vehicle here is getting artillery, so there's probably a recon nearby. I don't know where, but it should be close. Anyways, in the meantime, this is a pretty good spot. This is a pretty good spot because for me, my opponent can only attack from this angle. Or, I mean, he can still walk up from here, but it's still an open clearing. So, at least for me, I have, like, we both have these buildings. But for me, since I currently have control of these two warehouses, I can hide things behind it and use it to my advantage. Also getting a bit of help from Ben, where he is currently, you know, chipping away at his infantry. Same with my T80 in that bush right there. The boomerang gets to take a couple shots at the BTR with one salvo. The Cornet M, you know, they're pretty good. They're pretty good against anything, even against tanks, and I think they're very threatening. I'm just gonna buy myself more supplies. Probably a bit too addicted to supplies, but anyways, my SSO just gonna go in and quickly breach them. I'm gonna press sprint the moment that they enter the building. It's gonna start blasting. I'm not sure if yeah, he does run away with those Sturmoviki right there, along with the guard Motostroki. So at least these guys are going to be pretty, you know, battered and that kind of stuff. Just going to have to. Oh, that is a that is a T90 in my face. We trade blows, smoke up, and then I run away. Oh, that is at least I managed to hit the building for once, and then in the meantime, oh, what? Okay, that was unlucky. He was probably going for my SSO, but ended up getting my Moto Pekoka that was coming in the back. I mean, reinforcing the back. My tanks and his tanks traded because I probably should have saved myself an extra smoke there. And then my K-17 is now also out of bullets. I mean, out of cornets. So in a 1v1 fight against a BTR-80, I would actually lose. This is kind of due to the armor that the BTR has. They have a bit more heat and kinetic armor. There's a cornet team in here that is still firing at my ass, but I decided to deny him, my opponent, of his units, and then I face checked him, and just to find out, holy shit, that is a big blob. And also getting hit from the side with the Tor, by a cornet. This is not really that fun. And at the moment, I kind of overextended. I kind of overextended here, where everything on the flank seems to be doing great. I'm blowing up his supplies. He's not having a good time. But on the main flank, like as you can see here, oh, got saved by the no one tap thing. But yeah, that definitely dealing a lot of damage here to his flank that was supposedly, but in reality, actually, he probably ran away. Or like moved between buildings from where I was initially, where they were initially spotted. So as a result, I ended up losing way more than my opponents was. I lost my plane. Actually, my plane survived, so that wasn't too bad. But I lost my supplies. I lost a couple infantry units, 2 infantry units, in fact. And the good news is that with the help of my teammates and like a bit of artillery support, it did help. It did help me, like push him out of sea for the meantime, for the time being. My TOS was also, sorry, not my TOS, my book was also, I don't know why I accidentally selected it. I should have, I mean, I accidentally selected it, I moved it to the front, realized my mistake, and then moved it backwards, and then when I was microing, it kind of just didn't work out for me. Anyways, still trying to resupply my T90. It did take a little bit of damage. We're just gonna, as we spotted, this was probably the thing that was spotting my BDRM, not sure which, what name it is. So just gonna rush it. I don't think that guy has an autocannon, but I do. I am the one with an autocannon. Oh, hello T90. That is a very juicy target. Yeah, at least for us, right now, the flank is pretty much, I mean, you definitely could have something on the flank, right? But I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna keep going, and as you can see, this side of the map, at least for his side of the map, there's only one main road that can reinforce, like here, that way. If he wants to reinforce from the other spot, it's gonna take forever. I mean, this is a very long, like, distance for my opponent to even try to get into sea. So for us, like, this is a pretty, we're feeling pretty safe right now. We're feeling pretty good, and honestly, at this point, there's not really much else to talk about. The first game was a kind of a breeze for me. I think, at least thanks to like getting a bit of support from the side, and my opponent also, I managed to deny my opponent and his cheesy recon at the flank in the beginning. I still lost like a lot of stuff though. I lost my book, I lost a bunch of supplies that I invested in, you know, they're 80 points each, they're still fairly expensive. But as we, oh, yep, that's another shot through the smoke. I mean, I guess it's not really anyone's fault. I mean, I'm playing on like, you know, 140 ping normally, so Just gotta click faster, right? Just gotta click faster. Nothing else to it. And then here, if only I had my smoke. If only I used my my BRDM3K didn't accidentally smoke itself, because it was I mean, if it smoked itself, then it would actually be able to let the Mi-28 not shoot me, and then I could shoot him. So like that would be a great trade. And in fact, here I managed to destroy his BR, like the same vehicle, but since I didn't have AA or anything to finish off the helicopter, I had to pull back. There's definitely still something in these like buildings, and I really haven't cleared them out yet. I still need to. I'm thinking about it, right? I'm thinking about pushing him out of here so he can like not really push me in the future as of now. The good news is that at least I have this road where he's trying to reinforce kind of locked down in a sense. If he ever tries to push in, he's gonna have to bomb it or something. I mean, I have 2 books in the back, but they don't really have the range to support them. As you can see, the Meta is putting in some work here. If I move my book all the way up here, then it would probably be good enough to like kill the planes along with that. But for now, the bad news, I don't think it's that bad. I don't know how he even at this point I'm wondering he has more recon on the flank, but I can't be bothered. Since like, you know, I like, okay, you have your share of the map, I have my share. Okay, how about that? I think it's fair. So anyways, I think I'm just trying to, like, eventually I'm gonna be able to attack this part of the map. But for now, I'm just gonna touch him with 2 of my metas, smoke up, because for some reason the motorized metas can actually smoke. I mean, they have smoke and 2 metas, which is quite threatening for anything with the autocannon. For tanks, they can take a bit more damage. But recently, there was a buff done to ATGM teams when infantry are engaging enemies in buildings, especially with ATGMs. They actually don't get spotted for that long, or for like a long period of time, which is quite nice for like people who are playing defensively, because even if you're trying to shoot back, it doesn't really, like, you can't spot it, right? You can't spot it. It's just not gonna work out. And then this is like kind of, you know, he probably forgot about my Spetsnaz crew here. We're just gonna take that guy out. Take out the T90 as we pull back for now. Oh, that's something he's trying to reinforce. We definitely need to buy some extra units here, or at least help with the front line. The bombing was also very helpful, but we did not realize that my opponent still managed to buy himself a Tor in you know, when chaos was still occurring, I guess, during the match. We're just gonna use, yeah, then there are some Meta squads over there. Just gonna take care of that. And then that's the end. That's the end of my BRDM3's adventure. So right now there's only like 2 more ATGMs. I think this is the way to play, or at least to threaten like ATGM teams without like them having too much like the thing is, ATGMs can always shoot at you, right? But you kind of just need to like push them from different angles. Like for example, like this the K-17, I managed to push behind the building where you had to hide. This happens quite a lot. If you can try to outflank your opponent's like things and shenanigans, you can eventually take them out. Just trap them if they refuse to, or are a bit too stubborn when it comes to like retreating and that kind of stuff. Right now I'm feeling pretty confident with my units. I'm just gonna start moving them up, and slowly, even though with 1 unit, you know, 1 unit is I mean, it's kind of lousy for me to just push with 1 unit, but I think it also works as kind of like checking my opponent to see if he's got anything in here. I don't think he has anything else though. Yeah, with that, as we locked down, or previously locked down this crossroads, we're just gonna quickly go back, resupply them really quick, and then get back to what we were doing previously, which is, you know, camping my opponent's spawn. And if we camp their spawn, then there's no way you can get into my cap, right? No way. Unless he nukes me. Oh, that is a cluster bomber. I'm just gonna move in another direction that he's bombing from. This is, I mean, this is also up to luck, since these planes are often, like the cluster planes, their bombing run, I mean, their ellipse, it looks like this, right? Like three bombs, it looks like this. So, the way that they work is that the more bombs there are, the more vertical they like, how should I describe this? But the more, actually, what does perpendicular mean again? Let me look it up. Okay, that means they have a 90-degree. Okay, but like, yeah, like, so like, wherever the plane's direction is coming from, I think it's best to move to this side, because the bombs normally would go, would be parallel with the direction the plane is going through. So if you move to the side, maybe you have a chance. Anyways, in the meantime, I bought myself an SMT, trying to, I mean, I spotted his Spetsnaz Gru and SSO, right? I mean, this is the biggest no-brainer infantry that these people can, I mean, that Motorized has to offer, and it's pretty broken, to be honest. So I'm gonna send in my Moto Petoka to try to like bait for my SMT to bomb them. The only thing with this build, the 240 SMT, is that it doesn't really have a lot of fuel. So yes, you can loiter, but you won't have much time regardless. So I'm just gonna quickly see, or like try to face check him, just blindlessly throwing my infantry inside. I think my SMT is getting bombed, I mean getting shot at. So yeah, I do manage to spot his units. And then as I try to bomb here, but I don't know where my plane is going. I think I was getting shot at by his stuff, so... Oh! And then my plane gets down by his fighters. I think I flew a bit too close to the sun here earlier. I should have kept it, like... If you look at the mini-map here on the bottom right, I think my plane was around, like, very close to the front line. You could even see it on the screen here, but in reality I probably should have kept it a bit further backwards. It was definitely not ideal, but, you know, like... Yeah, we can still take care of these guys. With a bit of, oh, well, I guess I have another SMT incoming. But do I really need the SMT? Probably not, I don't know. Had a loitering again. Oh, there it is, there it is. And that's another recon vehicle. And since, I don't know, since mine lost, I decided, okay, Boomerang, it's your turn to go out there and beat that guy. Oh, smoke! Only to realize that there was a BRM-3K waiting in that bush, ambushing other, or at least my units. Gonna recall that guy, reinforce the crossroads that my opponent is trying to like go into, but unfortunately I can kind of keep him locked down here and attack from a couple of extra angles. And I also have a bunch of tanks, right? It's just a bit of a shame that SAMs nowadays, they're practically useless when it comes to dealing with ballistic missiles. I mean, Tochkas were kind of already a problem. I mean, if you remember correctly, when the PTE first came out, Grads got buffed too much. And then there was like Tochkas, or like ballistic missiles. But specifically the Tochkas from Motorized, because they're single launchers, and single launchers in BA are kind of overlooked, especially on the US side, because they're normally clusters. I think the ones like the attack comes from the HIMARS, but in the like for Russia, the Russia have access to the Tochkas, which is an HE warhead, and the difference in that is like normally you would prefer to have HE because I mean it's a top attacking missile. It doesn't give a damn about whether the thing that it's hitting is a tank, is infantry, is whatever. If it hits, it's probably gonna blow up the tank or like whatever is underneath it. So, preferably people would want their ballistic missiles to be HE, and that is true. And what's so special about the Tochka is that not only did it get a range buff, it also now has this thing where when you resupply it, remember you're resupplying 4 vehicles at a time. You're resupplying 4 vehicles at a time, and as a result, when you're trying to when you compare it to like a prism launcher, like a prism HIMARS that costs 250 points, you only reload 2 at a time. So ultimately, over like a long period of time, like let's say 5 minutes, or like let's just say each cycle. Okay, let's give it like for each cycle, like each ballistic missiles that these guys can get back or like resupply, you can only get 2 when you play as US, and that is kind of a thing. That is kind of a thing why the Tochkas are so good on the PTE, or not just the PTE, even in live. But nowadays, like it's being used, it's just being used to like quickly demolish some buildings that are probably a bit too tricky and that kind of stuff. So you have the Grad, you have the Tochka, you have the SMT, and on top of that, you still have the SSO and Spetsnaz GRU. So you have basically pretty much, okay, not the best, but pretty much the best CQC infantry. You have access to the strongest AT squad in the game. You have access to plane that can instantly delete any infantry that's in the vicinity of its bombing run. You have ballistic missiles that reload the fastest in the game. And then what else? And then you used to have a cluster, or like the Grad, that could basically like clear an entire tree line and also like engine the vehicles inside of it. So these 5 units alone, all in the Motorized specialization, is the reason to why Motorized is busted and why everyone is playing it. And like that's still not everything. That's still not everything. I mean, you still have the okay, I'm getting SMT'd, but like it's whatever. You still have the what is it? The Trinidad is fine. What was I talking about again? I kind of forgot. I got SMT twice. These guys are crazy. What was I talking about? Kind of forgot. Okay, I actually did forget what I was talking about. But yeah, that's why I think Motorized is inherently broken. Just a big problem that the devs. Oh, I forgot to move my SAMs after they fired. Yeah, if you look at things, or look at the dynamic of VA, we're kind of back where the game first started. Just in it's just even worse, I think, to some degree. And if you don't play Motorized, you're trolling, because they have so many unique units. I mean, yeah, that's a unique units that you really can't use in comparison to Motorized. Like you don't have anything to match it. Like even US, okay, SOF, like RC, okay, let's say RC. Do you want something that can kind of deal with enemy tanks? I mean, 1 RC squad is good, but you need 2. You need 2 RC squads to effectively deal with enemy infantry, or like enemy tanks. Sorry, not infantry, tanks, because you only have 4 launchers, and they only have 600 pen. A Spetsnaz GRU, however, as you can see here to my T90, instantly deleted within 2 seconds. They have the strongest RPG, 900 pen. They have 6 of them, so there's no way that it's not deleting a tank. When it fires from a tree line, it's invisible. And I mean, yeah, just didn't expect it to be like this powerful. And like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, you could also say I'm kind of shit at the game. That is true. But I think, I mean, like, there's no reason to not play Motorized when, like, if it's so busted. And if you're playing, if you're not playing Motorized, you just kind of suffer. And I think for the devs, when I interviewed them about the game's direction, also this game planted more recon up my ass. So I don't know. I mean, he's gotta stop doing that. But yeah, like, ultimately, I think Motorized, they gotta do something about Motorized. Even on live, it didn't feel like that much of an issue. Maybe because people weren't playing them as much. I still think, yeah, I feel like if you think about it, yes, Betsens Guru is a bit more like expensive there. The SSO is definitely a lot weaker, and besides that, I feel like it's work. I feel like it works. I feel like it works, and I think Motorized is still pretty much viable, a viable unit composition on the flank. Not on the flank, but for Russia. Oh, it's S300. No, my kill. No, not my kill. Here during the match, Ben killed the S300, and I thought to myself, okay, might as well just destroy the supplies that he was trying to resupply at. He told me he had no more RPGs, so if I kept driving and found anything, it would have been my kill because he had nothing. He had no AT anymore. It was just a funny thing that happened during the match. But yeah, anyways, they surrendered. So as a result, I mean, thanks to a lot of help from Ben in the beginning, and also mid game when Kakuta blobbed a bunch of infantry near his supply point, and I had troubles like breaking into it. Yeah, I got a lot of support there, and which is why eventually I could steamroll and take control of the cap for the majority. And you know, it was a pretty chill experience afterwards. So this is the first game of this at least the quarterfinals that I played in, and yeah, that should be the end of today's video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching until the very end. Along with special thanks to the channel supporters, Nova, Kiko, 1KP, and the boys at BA Armory. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be back next time with the second match of Ben versus MBK. So stay tuned, and bye-bye.